This video explores a bank alarm timer, probably a prototype model, and dates from somewhere around 1900 to 1910. The case is made of a very heavy bronze with a glass front. The dial is a little bit reminiscent of a Holmes electric time lock, and this has two movements, Seth Thomas movements, very high quality, and they each have their own separate adjustments for the timing, nicely damascened front and rear plates, and both have dual mainsprings. One here and one here, and one here and one here. The main dial consists of two subsidiary dials here in the center with a release neural locking nut here, which allows this outer dial to move in relation to the inner dial. And the inner dial is shown here, and the outer dial is shown here. And that allows you to set the alarm for how many hours that you want it to be armed. At this point, we are looking at, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit further, 14 hours as set by the clock here. So what one would do is, once this has been set to 14 hours, and you would then set the time itself to whatever the time currently is on the dial. Say you want to close at say 6 o'clock at night, and you would then lock up the bank. Now, there were two contacts that are directly below this dial here, and you can see them just a little bit under here. And they are controlled by two rollers here and here. In this shot, I have moved the dial over so you can see the two rollers. One is here and one is here. And those rollers then can be actuated through this cam here as well as this plate here. Now I have a voltmeter hooked up to contacts that are located in the rear of this alarm timer, and they are hooked up to the what I call the momentary contact, and what that does is come on for a very brief period of time when the alarm system is about to be set, so that it warns the people inside the bank that the alarm system is about to set itself. And the reason why this is necessary is because, unlike a lot of the manually set systems, this dial here allows you to set it to go on guard, using the same terminology as time locks, ahead of time. So as this time rolls down, and I'm just going to move this manually, you'll see that this very quickly moves and then is gone. And that is giving you the warning that the alarm system is about to go on. And that happened right as this was at the this 12 o'clock position. Now the other set of contacts, which is located over to the left, is controlled by this back dial here, and that is actually arming the system for the duration of when it is to be on guard. And again, just cycling this by hand, now it's on guard, and you can see the voltmeter showing passage of current, and will remain on guard for that 14 hours. And is now off. And one can see that the pointer is at 8 and had originally started at 6. So you have 14 hours on the 24-hour dial. And here is a rear view of the movement, and I wanted to point out this cam here. And a demonstration of that is simply showing you how this cam interacts with these two contacts here. Both are independent of each other, and both operate in exactly the same fashion because we are looking for a redundancy between these two movements. In case one fails, the other one will complete its task. Now, the way these work is that as these cams move back and forth, you have a contact here. This is the common, and then you have a contact here or here. Same here. The center is the common, and then through here and here. And they alternate as this moves. Now the interesting thing about this, and I cannot explain it, is that this cam has 9 lobes. Not 6 lobes, not 12 lobes, not 24 lobes. You have a dial in the front, which through one complete revolution is 24 hours. But 9 is not divisible into 24. So I cannot explain what the function of these would be, considering that it is not something divisible into a 12 or 24-hour dial. The other really strange thing is that as received, you can see that this, and this were all soldered together. This has now came away because the soldering joints have become unattached, but originally these were all soldered together. And you can see here, these also are all soldered together with one piece, which is very strange because soldering all of these together completely defeats both of these switches so that they're completely useless. Again, this is maybe an indication of the fact that this was a prototype, and when it was installed they found that they didn't need these two switches in the back. I don't know.